G'day folks, today I'm reviewing the Fujifilm XC 50 to 230mm f4.5 to 6.7 lens. This is a budget-friendly kit zoom lens that I recently picked up for my compact Fujifilm XM5. This lens is part of the Fujifilm XC line, meaning it's a more budget-friendly lens. The design includes 13 elements in 10 groups, and while it's predominantly made of plastic, the trade-off is that it's incredibly lightweight at just 375 grams. That's over 200 grams lighter than its nearest competition, the XF 55-200, which makes it a great match for smaller Fujifilm bodies like the XM5 or the XT30 Mark II. The lens mount is also plastic and the filter thread is 58mm. Its minimum focus distance is 1.2 meters, so keep that in mind for closer shots, especially at the 50mm range. Now let's talk about the range. On a Fujifilm APS-C body, the 50 to 230mm focal length translates to a full frame equivalent of 75 to 345mm. This makes it super versatile and perfect for shooting wildlife, distant landscapes, or even details in urban environments. It pairs nicely with the XC 15 to 45mm kit lens from Fujifilm for an affordable lightweight combo. One thing to note is the aperture range. It's f4.5 to 6.7, which isn't ideal for low light. You'll need good lighting conditions to avoid cranking up the ISO and introducing noise. Like most compact zooms, this one's a bit light hungry, but that's the compromise for keeping things portable. Being an XC lens, there's no dedicated aperture ring, so you'll need to adjust it using the camera's dials. Personally, I don't mind. It's quick and easy to use. The zoom and focus rings are smooth and quiet, great for shooting videos without interference. The zoom ring only requires a quarter turn to go from 50mm to 230mm, which is really convenient. Now let's test how good the autofocus is on this lens, which I'll be testing on my Fujifilm XM5. This camera doesn't have an electronic viewfinder, and the LCD is low resolution, but nonetheless the touch autofocus is smooth between subjects, as you can see here, and fast enough for most purposes. Animal eye detection is sticky and works well. To put this lens to the test, I'm taking it to the Wildlife HQ on the Sunshine Coast here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, which is like a zoo. Let's see how it performs for both photos and video.
Two trains going around the big pineapple at once. So that train is rounds of renovations.
My final thoughts on the Fujifilm 50 to 230mm lens. I've really enjoyed using this affordable lightweight zoom lens on my Fujifilm XM5, and I got some great shots of wildlife at the local zoo. Bear in mind that some of the images may not look tack sharp. This is because they were actually shot through a cage at the zoo, so the lens did well to focus on the animal rather than the cage itself. I used a slow burst mode of about 3 frames per second and continuous autofocus with animal, face and eye detection. One thing I recommend is if it's a sunny day, you should use the lens hood that came with it to reduce the haze from the scattered light on the image, which will reduce the contrast and the sharpness, unfortunately. All in all, this is a sharp lens with good autofocus for the price. It's lightweight, compact and easy to carry, and it's highly underrated in my opinion. I've owned the Fujifilm XF70-300 before for my Fujifilm X-T5, but sold them both because the image quality and the autofocus was terrible. I prefer the previous generation of 26 megapixel X-trans sensors, especially with lenses that aren't able to resolve 40 megapixels like this one. Should you buy it? Absolutely. If you're a hobbyist, wildlife photographer, or just need an affordable lightweight travel zoom, it is fantastic. But is it pro level? No, it's on the slower side for a professional zoom lens. It has no weather sealing, and its plastic build isn't rugged enough to last, unfortunately. This lens is perfectly matched to the Fujifilm XM5. I have a review right here that you can watch if you're interested in that camera. It's a full review and it'll explain everything about it. I have more cool camera and photography reviews coming up, so please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.